Hey guys, today's video is going to be about why I love the Hobonichi weeks, and mostly as a reminder to myself for when I want to leave. I'm not going to mention any of the things that bother me about the Hobonichi weeks because this is the pros list instead of the cons list. Most of the cons you've heard me speak about many times when I've felt like throwing my Hobonichi weeks in the trash. But right now I'm mostly happy with it, and so I was sitting the other day thinking about what about this planner I really do like, what really works for me, and I thought that I would share it with you guys today. If we've never met before, hi, my name is Sam and I like planners. Pens, stationery, and all of that. My new obsession is Portland leather bags that I put all of those things into, and I feel like they all go together pretty well. But my love of stationery and planners goes back to as far as I can remember, and I don't see myself ever being without a planner, a paper planner specifically. If you are new here, thanks so much for joining, and if you've been here for a while, thanks so much for sticking around with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. All right, so my list, in no particular order really, is going to begin with the small form factor of the Hobonichi weeks. I elected for a regular weeks in the end this year. I do have a mega as well, but the yellow, as much as I love yellow, was just really bothering me, and that was one of the things that kind of derailed my weeks for this year, not being happy with any of the cover choices for the mega. But the regular still works great and is in a really small form factor. But even if you get a mega, this is my 2021, it's still really small. I like to tell people who are not familiar with the Hobonichi weeks that it's just a little bit bigger than like a checkbook for anyone who remembers what those look like. So yeah, just like checkbook sized, a little bit thicker and just a little bit larger as a form factor, but it is really small. If you look at other planners out there, take an Erin Condren, it's a whole lot smaller than an Erin Condren, and in my opinion, you can fit all of the same information into this little guy. Of course, it's going to be a little bit bigger if you put it into a cover, but for me, it's really important because I like to switch out my bag so frequently that I'm able to keep most of the same things from one bag to another, even if it's not like the same size. So I often go from like a backpack to a little mini crossbody, sometimes to a tote, and the Hobonichi weeks fits in almost every single bag that I own. And if it's a really tight squeeze, I'll take it out of its cover and just carry it alone. But that's kind of important for me because back in the day when I carried a larger planner, like an Erin Condren, I either had to carry a bag larger than I wanted to carry, or I had to just kind of carry the planner in my hand. So I definitely appreciate that this is such a small planner and packs such a punch. That being said, my second thing is the fact that it holds all of the things. So there are many other planners out there that are small, smaller even than the Hobonichi weeks. But one thing that the Hobonichi weeks has to offer, even in this compact size and even in the one that isn't a mega, is all of the things that you can put into this planner. You have your yearly overview. As you can see, for this year, I am using this as my PTO tracker. You have a last year, which I never look at that. And sometimes I look forward to 2024, but honestly, if I do, it's usually in my phone. It's just like a quick, oh, what day is that next year? It's usually like our birthdays or whatever. And I'm not usually referencing this. The next section is, let me grab something here. So the next section is a tracker, and I use this for my cycle and things like that. And I do use it consistently, just not ready to share until the year is over. But people use this for very many things, or not at all, I have noticed. And honestly, I've used this planner for so many years in a row now that whenever I'm doing any other kind of planner, I either take something that's very similar to this and paste it into a book-bound planner, or I include something very similar to this into my ring planners. So this has become a staple for me personally in my planner. And then you move into your monthly. And I have just kind of secured the pages that I didn't use because the planner doesn't start in January, but I don't start my planner until January. So I've only included the months that I am using in the planner. So you have your monthly, and I'm just going to go over this really quick because most people know what a Hobonichi Weeks looks like, and I'm going to go into more depth with some of these things as I go through the things that I love about it. So you get all of your months, and you get your months up until March, I believe, of 2024. So you've got a little bit of forward planning for the next year if you start making doctors and dentists, etc. appointments ahead of the new year. And then you have all of your weeklies, and then you go through all of your weeks. And even in the regular weeks, you have, let's see, even in the regular weeks, you have 75 note pages. And that is the one thing that I think that a lot of other smaller planners usually lack. The Moleskine, I love the little pocket planner, but it doesn't have really any pages in the back. And although I'm not really good about working in the free space, sometimes when I am, I feel like I really need it. So it has all of the things. It also has some extras that people may or may not use. You have some pages in the very back that have some useful information. You have the 365 checkoff, which I want to use for showing my workouts, but I didn't start my fitness journey until April. And I have to then like either be consistent every single day, remember where I am, or Google what day of the year is it. So I've kind of found this one not as useful as I would like. You have the My 100 chart, which people use for various things. I'm not going to show mine. Let's see. But just in case you're not familiar, I'll show you what it looks like. This year I am using it for major events that happened either in the world, in the United States, or in my life personally. And then there's my favorite things, and it goes through just things that you can jot down that become a memory. There's a place for you to track your favorite movies, your favorite TV shows, songs, whatever. And I really think that that's nice if you're going to keep this planner in the future as like a memory keeper, which again, going back to the fact that it makes such a small bit of space for what you can fit inside of it, it's really easy to save these back for memories. I don't know if I'll keep them forever, but I have kept every single one of my weeks. So I think that that goes to its advantage as well, because even though we are attempting to downsize what things we have in our home, the Hobonichi Weeks takes up so little space that I don't feel like I need to get rid of it, at least for now. So of all the planners that I've used and all of the ring pages that I've thrown away, the Hobonichi Weeks has been the one thing that I have held on to. Also the Hobonichi A6, but I haven't been consistent with using those like I have been with the weeks. All right, so the next thing is that they are so flexible. And this goes back to, we often deal with planner boredom, and I think that maybe a lot of times we don't realize that. So there's always this talk about looking for planner peace, and I kind of believe that you can find that, but I also wholeheartedly believe that you can be completely bored with what you're using and just want to change what you're doing in your planning system just to set up something new and enjoy something new. It's one of the only hobbies that I've been consistent with, and so because of that, I really do like the whole like choosing what goes inside. One of my favorite things every year is getting my stickers that I'm going to use in the front of my Hobonichi Weeks, and so there's that like excitement of, you know, printing out your inserts or choosing how you want it to be. And so I think that there's just kind of the new shiny whole experience, and sometimes when we get settled into something and we get used to using it for a while, we just get a little stir crazy, and we just want to do something different. So the thing that I like about the Hobonichi Weeks is that you can change things up. I mean, I've not used it the same way throughout the whole time that I have used this planner, but you can draw lines, you can make your days go a different way, you can divide things up, build your own trackers. It gives you enough free form that you can almost make it like a bullet journal, but it gives you enough pre-made that you don't have to do all of the work. So even when I'm in rings, I a lot of times choose this exact same format just in rings. And if you've been around here for a while, you'll know that I go very much back and forth between the Hobonichi Weeks and rings. I love both of those planning systems, but there is something to be said about being able to come back through and flip through these pages. So yeah, I really like it. So if I decide I don't want to use a tracker this week, then I don't put a tracker in, and I can just change it day by day, by the week, by the month, by the year. You can be constantly changing how you use this planner, and eventually I think people usually do get kind of into a groove where they find that they enjoy planning a certain way in this book. There's also a lot of great content, say like on Instagram. If you follow the Hobonichi Weeks hashtag, you can see a lot of things that you would never have even thought of using this planner for when you first get it out and look at it. And then you see how other people are looking at it and you're like, wow, that's really out of the box. But it's totally cool to be able to do things differently just week to week, month to month. Something that I don't think that you can say for a lot of planners out there. The back pages, I think specifically, are just a place for you to make a huge impact on how you want to use this planner and how it can change. I was in a really good journaling place here, I felt, and I was using some stickers, and I think these are from Randy.plans, but I was saving my washi, I was journaling, I didn't feel stressed because I knew that I could just write to wherever and then move on to the next day, and that makes me feel really good because it's not dated in the back, and if I want to use it like that, then I don't have to feel guilty about missing a day. So this is the style that I really enjoyed as well, and I'm going to be going back to this, I think, because as much as I like and I think that it's really pretty, and I did enjoy using fountain pens, when I go back through, I guess I'm just more drawn to this style and the short form kind of mini journaling, and I really like how that's broken up and makes a page look. So I think that I'm going to be doing that. It also doesn't require you to buy any kind of extra stickers, and it still is very obvious where you started a journaling session and you ended it. So the flexibility, that is number 4. The next one is going to be that it's so customizable, and I feel like maybe this one is a little bit of a throwaway, but like I mentioned before, every year I get super excited about what I'm going to choose. Hobonichi has previews pretty early on. They release in September, so it gives you plenty of time to get an idea about what you want to buy for the year, and then get it in and then get your planner set up ahead of the new year. So you have lots of time, which sometimes I think is a con because, I said I wasn't going to mention cons, because it gives you time to second guess what you're doing. And I have ordered far too many Hobonichis over the years, still like trying to make my final decisions. And so this year I really hope that I can stick with one. So of course, planners like, I'm just gonna give the example again of Erin Condren, and you have so many things that you can customize with that. And although you don't have this with the Hobonichi Weeks, you still can customize it. You still can customize it in so many ways because you have the covers that, and please Hobonichi, come back with something like this again. I loved this cover so much with the gold lettering. Anyway, this is so neutral that you can make it your own. You can use stickers, you can put vinyl stickers but not actually take the sticky thing off, and change them out through the year. They every year come out with different clear covers to go over your cover, and you can customize it like that. People just do a lot of great things, give you a way that your planner doesn't look like everybody else's planner. But the real thing that I get excited about every year is how I'm going to decorate the inside. And this is the area that I just love to look at. This spread specifically is my favorite. And then I always like to put a little something on this page as well. I always pick a photo that I'm going to put, and I always put it exactly here. Years ago, I started doing this where I just kind of made a collage of sassy or sarcastic sayings and some of my favorite things. And I'm going to do this as long as I use the Hobonichi Weeks, because I really felt like it made it my planner, and I think that that's what we're like all looking for. Of course, a lot of people go above and beyond in this area and they decorate this all up. That's not really been a focus of mine. It's not a page that I turn to a lot, but I will tell you that I turn to this all of the time. Adding in the washi, I usually put like really big through here, the month, the only trend I ever started. I usually put like the month there, but since I bought the English version this year, I decided that I didn't really need it. I kind of miss it though. So I think I'm going to go back to that next year, but I've not been upset about it enough that I've gone back and added it in. But it's so customizable just by the way it looks. Have stickers here. I always put a little clear pocket here to put little stickers in. And then this is, my Hobonichi Weeks is almost always in some kind of cover. So I don't put a lot of stickers right here on this side because it's covered up. However, at the end of the year, if I have extra stickers from places that we've gone that I didn't stick down anywhere, I'll go ahead and stick them on the inside here because, like I said, this is the planner that I don't throw out. Lots of people customize it with tabs. I so far haven't done that because I've been afraid that they'll like look ragged, but I'm definitely considering it. And then of course, like I said, the back pages are so customizable that you could use this for literally anything that you can imagine or need in the back of a planner for extra pages. Of course, the regular weeks is not going to give you as much to go on as the mega, but I've been fine either way. I am not a huge journaler. I like the ability to do so, but I don't know. I have one of those little notebooks just in case I spill over, but I don't see myself running out of pages. I'm just not that big of a journaler, but we'll see. I like that the ability to add one of those little notebooks is there for me if I need it. And then at the end of the year, it's thin enough that I can just tuck it into my Hobonichi Weeks and I'm not going to feel like I have a bunch of different books to keep track of. All right, and the last thing that I will mention, which is maybe not as exciting, but is definitely something that means something to me, and that is the quality of a Hobonichi Weeks. There was some issues this year, especially with the rabbit cover, which I had chosen as well, where they just had some quality control issues. But other than that, I have never had a problem with anything from Hobonichi. They always are well made. Yes, you do pay for them, but I never get a Hobonichi Weeks and question whether or not it's going to hold up. I have many planners that I have purchased where the pages you need to like spread down because they're not glued correctly, or the binding starts cracking, or they feel like it's falling apart, or the pages start coming out. And I have never had any kind of issue like that. And my Hobonichi Weeks, although I feel like I am more delicate with my planners than maybe some other people are, taking it in and out of these covers all the time definitely stresses the back of them, and you can tell that it's had its fair share of abuse. But I used this planner all year, and it's not as chunky as some people's, but it definitely was used and abused and taken out of a million different covers, and it still held together really well. I definitely cannot say that about every planner that I have purchased. These are my pros for the Hobonichi Weeks, and this is for you as well as for myself, because sometimes I do forget why I love this planner so much and keep coming back to it, even though sometimes I get so annoyed that I want to just walk away and never use the Hobonichi weeks again. But then I get back into it and I look through these pages and I see my planning and how it's changed throughout the year and how this planner evolves to fit my needs instead of me having to fit my needs to the planner. And I think, why did I leave? So I just wanted to share that with you today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the Hobonichi weeks? Are we feeling like we need to toss it? Or are we feeling like we need to try it? Or hopefully I have shared something with you today that gives you food for thought if it's been on your list but you haven't been sure. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.